and welcome to Conversations with the Coach. Get calm now. And I'm Randy Levin. I'm the CEO and founder of Randy Levin Coaching, and I am a transitional life strategist and reinvention expert. Change. Wow. When we think about change in the world that we're in, it brings up so much right now. And there's all the changes that go on all around us. And the world keeps changing. And whether we do or we don't, it changes around us. And so where I come in and support and coach my clients is really around the changes we can choose in our own lives, how we respond, how we react to different things in our lives, and whether we choose to stay calm, amidst all of that. So welcome. Perfect timing for this. It's also pre-holiday, post-election. We got it all going on. So really nice time to introduce my wonderful co-host, Nitra Martino, who is a stress expert. It's a wonderful thing. I feel calm just having you on this. Nitra, if you just want to take a moment and just introduce yourself and tell everybody, a little bit about you.
Sure. As Randy said, I'm a stress and anxiety solutions expert. So I like to somebody said, what makes you an expert? And I always say, read my website. It talks about things I've been through in my life. And I've come out of this with these tools that work for me every day. I do get stressed. We're all going to be stressed, but using a holistic approach is just what's become part of my life, and it's brought me to this part of my journey. So I'm really excited to be here, and my company is always evolving and changing. So Randy's somebody I've met, and I love what she does, transition, because we're always in transition, right? You can always count on change. So thank you. So I'm looking forward to sharing this conversation with everybody and getting you guys calm and, being able to replay this for yourselves too. If there's little hints that Randy gives and things like that, it's great. You can replay it and, tell your friends to
share it, because it will be on YouTube. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So thank you.
Awesome. So tonight we're going to talk about centering. It really is what it comes down to, is really coming back to those habits, to those holistic things that you can do for yourself. The things that you can bring into your life, bring into your world that will really work for you amidst chaos. And sometimes, this time of year is chaotic all in of its own, coming off of the election and the political climate that we're all in. It just, brings that up a little bit more. But these are things that you can use anytime you're feeling, wow, a little overwhelmed, a little too much going on. So I think that we're going to start with Nitra calming us down with a little breathing. I'm excited, ready to breathe.
Okay. So I just invite you all to sit comfortably, and you're going to do a very basic breath. And also on my YouTube channel, there is a breathing practice video. So if you come back to this, I also have one on my YouTube channel. So breathing is real important, because breathing actually works physiologically on your body. And it's the one thing you can always carry in your toolbox, because, conscious breathing, I always get the joke, especially from gentlemen mostly, oh, I know how to breathe, when we breathe consciously, physiologically, it slows down your parasympathetic nervous system. So if you get up in the middle of the night and you have to go to the bathroom, you can't get back to sleep, or if your partner snores, I've heard all these different scenarios. Mm-hmm. Breathing is the key, and it's not like taking some form of medication. I mean, medication is great if your doctor prescribes it, but this is a simple, non-toxic way to relax, right? So we're all about non-toxic.
Nitra, I was at a presentation today by a holistic health coach, and she was saying actually that breathing, conscious breathing like this, also helps to regulate your metabolism. And I never realized that you actually can have more control over how you're metabolizing your food by consciously breathing and reducing stress. So there's
you're not sending out those toxic hormones that stress brings on. So your hormones are balanced. When your hormones are out of whack, that's why when people like honestly, I just moved and I was having a big transition and I gained like 5 pounds, and no matter, it's stress, and I share that with people because now I'm back on track and I'm into more of a practice, and it happens. So I think it's good for you and I as coaches and mentors and what we do to experience the negative, so we can say to our clients, look, I know what it's like to gain 5 pounds because I was stressed. I wasn't eating right. I didn't have my, and now like I peeled pomegranates tonight. I feel like I'm back. It's like, so that's going to be one of my new posts after we get off tonight. But it's true, because when you're stressed out, you're creating chemicals in your body that are so toxic, it's like pouring battery acid through your bloodstream. That's how toxic they are. So breathing and relaxing the nervous system, you're going to just help heal your body. So you've got the power. So good. Thank you.
I want the power.
Good.
Ellen, you want the power?
Still got the power.
Yay.
So we're going to do something really simple. I invite you just to listen to the sound of my voice. And have a little music in the background.
Make it dark also.
So we're going to close our eyes. You're just going to sit tall and comfortable, have your legs uncrossed, and if your feet touch the ground, that's fine. And I just want you to watch your breath come in through your nostrils and go out through both nostrils. Feel your shoulders begin to relax and melt. Feel your jaw soften. And watch the breath come in through 2 nostrils, moving down the back of the throat and into both lungs. And then just watch it exit the same way. So watch where the breath goes. Relax your abdomen as you inhale. And just watch how the abdomen contracts gently as you exhale. Watch the flow of your breath. And now we're going to add a count to your breath. So as you inhale, count in your mind to whatever number you reach. And as you exhale, see if you can lengthen that. So if you inhale to a count of 3, exhale to a count of 6, slowly, mindfully. The 1-to-2 ratio helps to relax your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the nervous system that regulates our relaxation response. Very powerful breath. Just feel the body releasing, relaxing, and letting go as you sit tall. Noticing just what you feel through the body in stillness. Not judging it, just watching. At the end of your next exhalation, just let the breath go, let the count release, and just notice how you feel by scanning your body. And slowly, just opening your eyes, retaining the peacefulness you have. Hi.
Yeah, it's cool. Can you come to my house every day? Into the blue room.
Makes a huge difference. Did you all hear the music?
Yes.
Okay. Didn't want it to be too loud.
No, it's
So
perfect.
yeah, simple breathing practice is really powerful. You know, taking just a minute to be, and, you know, I mean, that was 3 minutes. You know, I always tell students or clients, use an egg timer, you know, one of these. Keep it on my desk.
Yeah, I especially like the breathing in and then breathing out to a different count. I think that made the difference for me than how I would traditionally do this. So
Right. And there's a reason that it works better, because our mind is like 1,000 untamed horses. So when you're focusing on the breath, your mind's like, woo, 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 you know, the horses are running. So now the mind has something verbal to think about and something physical. So this way you're tricking your mind, saying, oh,
good. It needs to be tricked.
So good.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. So what are those triggers to stress? And how can we identify them? I think that everybody has, you know, different stresses, obviously, different things that push our buttons, so to speak. But there's lots of little red flags. What are some of those?
For me, one thing I notice immediately, since I've been practicing for so long, is that icky feeling in my stomach or the tightness in my shoulders. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just don't know what it is, but our physical reaction and our gut instinct is like, you know, and it's like a feeling. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think, you know, if you're going somewhere, especially I tell clients too, for the holidays, you know, you're going to spend time with your family, do some meditation first, because, you know, I hear different stories about family interactions and this and that. And I think that's part of what, you know, your intention was with this whole program tonight. Mm-hmm. You know, the holidays are beautiful. However, they do bring upon us stress. So trying to find the joy, you know, that Randy's intention on putting this together tonight was finding the joy and keeping the happiness and the spirit of what we want to be, and all year round.
Exactly. Take it forward. Exactly. Take it forward. Some of those stressors, I know for me, even if I didn't realize I was stressed, I can feel it in my back. It's like an immediate thing. So I know if my back is bothering me, that if I stop and really be mindful of what's going on, there's something that's really stressing me out. For other people, it may be weight gain, you know, maybe using food as a pacifier, so to speak, for certain stressors. But I think there's a lot of different things that people do, coping mechanisms almost, to overcompensate for, you know, not feeling great about something, or, you know, feeling a little overwhelmed about something and wanting to make yourself feel better. It's kind of like, what is that Band-Aid? And so some of the things we want to bring forward tonight, just like that breathing exercise, were the tools that you can use that, you know, have a healthier twist on them than possibly a bag of potato chips would, in terms of bringing you back, right? As good as that potato chip is, you know, it kind of lingers on afterwards, no matter what we do.
And I think also
I'm sorry.
Tune out. We like to tune out and be unconscious.
Right.
I used to weigh 200 pounds in my younger days. So I understand the whole food thing, and that's why I teach different things about food, because it's unconscious eating, because we're trying to block out something we don't want to deal with. So you're totally on cue with that.
Yeah. Are there anything else, or anything that Ellen or Nancy want to add in terms of things that stress you out, or things that you know are little red flags for you that you'd like to do differently when you are stressed?
Well, for me, it's just, I've had so many years of successive stress that I think it's just a habit. So my shoulders are clenched all the time. My shoulders are tight all the time. And they just automatically do that. So I really have to make an effort to undo that. And that's sort of been going on for years. That's, I think, my biggest problem is that that's actually like a state of being. How do I undo that? Right.
Well, I mean, we know some of the ways. Massage, certainly, but it's short-lived. Chiropractic and acupuncture also would be really, really wonderful tools for you in terms of releasing that. I know that that's part of my whole regimen of things that I do. You know, we talk about, and we will get into a little bit more of gifts to self, or, you know, making that time for self. And I have my little habits that I try to, you know, incorporate into my, if not my day, certainly my week. And, it's a habit of exercising. It's, consistent acupuncture, consistent chiropractic, consistent massage, because it helps to combat a lot of the other stuff that, may seem huge if I wasn't doing that. And, when those shoulders get kinked up and what have you, you're just uncomfortable. So sometimes it's, kind of stepping into some of the things modalities that you can do, even just stretching out, really just doing one of those kind of things. It kind of releases it. Warm baths, candles, glass of wine, all that stuff. So,
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
I'm a yoga therapist, so I work a lot with the body and the emotions. And one thing you can really do, Ellen, is to just circle your shoulders up, back, and down. I have one of my students says her husband heard her repeating it in her sleep one night. Back and down, back and down. Yeah, because you're lifting them up so you know what tense feels like. When you take them back and down, you learn what relaxed is. So it's a nice circular motion, and then you can connect it with your breath, which is what I do with clients. And it's kind of like, think of like the energetics of a turtle. I don't want to deal with this. The turtle, the shell, and here you're coming out of your shell. So
I like that.
Really just opening up, because there's a lot of emotional stuff that's held in our body. Like Randy said, take massages and acupuncture, and come take one of my yoga classes.
Where are your yoga classes held? Because it seems like this is a really good time to say that.
They're held through the Unitarian Society of Ridgewood, they're through Valley Hospital. I'm a yoga therapist for Valley Hospital also. So.
Okay, and people can find that on your website when you get that information?
You can contact me. I don't really have the classes through the hospital on my website.
Okay. Awesome.
But just breathe and noticing it. You're ahead of the game right now, Ellen.
Yeah, I think I need to make this something that I do regularly, and I don't even remember to do it. The stressing part takes up so much more of my day than the thinking about not stressing.
Wow. Now, if we could flip that just a little bit.
Little bit.
So that you maybe wake up and have that thought. And maybe when you go to sleep, you have that thought. So we start with that, mindful waking, mindful resting. Good place to add it in and see where that brings you. That's good for any little tool that we want to take forward. Those are great times of day to bring them into your life. So, human connection. Remember back in the day before we had
I'm busy, what?
Before the thing that we call the phone took the pictures and connected us to the universe, and we had all these fake friends. Do you remember that? Because I remember it. I remember, knowing people and touching people and being a part of people's lives in a much more interactive way than we are allowed to do in the society and the world that we're in right now. And I think that, the human condition with that is slightly off kilter. I think it adds to the amount of stress that we see in our society and the amount of stress we see with kids in, elementary school, middle school, high school, college. There's a lot going on there at a very young age. And part of it is because we're so connected and that we're always on, and we always feel that we have to compare ourselves in some way to what everybody else is saying or doing or where they are. We never stop to realize that they're usually not on here crying. They're on here showing us, what Broadway show they saw or what vacation they're on. And so that's not totally realistic. That's just a snapshot of a moment in somebody's life. But then, our minds take that forward, and that becomes what we think, well, everyone else is like doing everything and I'm home. So we don't connect the same way. And we need to be able to connect, to be able to, when we're with people, to put the phones away, to be able to see and relate and listen and converse, to be able to look out a window and actually, take in the view and understand, what we're seeing, not just because we want to snap a picture of it and post it on Instagram, but because we really appreciate the view. And we're curious about the world around us. And a lot of that, has been robbed by all of this technology that we have, which of course gives us so much else, but takes away that human factor. So, Nietzsche, in regard to being human, what do you want to add to this in terms of that connection to people? and how that plays into stress.
I think that sometimes, I was just thinking as you were talking, I'm like, you're so on point, because there's something, do you know what FOMO is?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Fear of missing out. These children, there's actually a syndrome. My fear of missing out when I was younger was I couldn't go to like the high school dance on Friday night, and then I got over it. Here it's like they see an event they missed over and over and over and over, and they're not living in the moment. They're living in what do I not have, instead of being present. And I believe tools are really, if you watch positive things like Deepak Chopra comes on live every now and then, and other people that I watch. So there's a lot of really great things, and to start to train our minds to, like when I'm on Facebook, I try to post really positive things and things that uplift people.
Lovely things, yes.
Thank you. Yeah, and also because I don't post about the election. To me, it happened, it was important, but I'm not going to allow it to run my life. I'm not going to allow what other people think to run my life. I want to be helpful and useful in this world. And so sometimes I like take the dog for a walk. I leave the phone home. I see people like walking their kids in the park, and they're like on the phone, and there's a 3-year-old like falling down. Like, that's not how,
crossing the street, and this car's coming, and they're like this.
Right. And right, exactly. In New York, I haven't been to the city in a while, but it's like,
yeah, everybody crossing the street on the phone.
Yeah. And nobody does this. Like, I want to hug you all. Like, nobody hugs. Go hug somebody.
Go hug somebody. Yes. If there's one message coming out of this, it's go find someone to hug.
What did you said something really cute in the in the outline, giving hugs and touching people.
Unplug to hug is what I said. I don't even know where I came up with that, but it just sounded so cute.
I work with
hug. We've forgotten about human contact in favor of all of this nonsense that we do, of which, it's important to be a part of that. It's part of our world, but it shouldn't be our world. So
it actually short circuits your brain too when there's too much.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain can only absorb so much. So if you meditate, which we're going to do at the end of the session tonight, meditation actually helps to grow the size of your brain.
Cool. I should be meditating every day is what you're telling me. Because I think as we age, doesn't it shrink?
That's what I was thinking.
So we got to bring this on. Where do we go to do this, Stitch?
That's what I teach, how to meditate.
We got to sign up. Yeah, we're all signing up. That's it.
Cool.
We're growing our brain.
Right.
So
Ellen's like, I'm ready. My shoulders are
ready. Mine already feel better from doing that, actually. Me too.
Yeah.
So, along with the shoulders, and because that's, I think, really a part of what I'm about to say, what we let in and what we let out. It's not just breath. It's not just the shoulders. It's the stuff we carry around with us, whether we need to or not. This kind of imaginary bag of rocks almost of everything in our lives, good, bad, or indifferent. And if we carry everything forward, we have no room to let in or to even see something that we want to let in. So I think it's really important to be able to, when we're talking about stress, let go. And it sounds really easy, let go. But if you envision all the things you're carrying around with you as being really heavy boulders, which ones don't need to be in that bag on your back, causing your shoulders to feel like all this stress? What can you leave out of the bag so that you create a little bit of space for something unexpected, something serendipitous, something that, may be really great that, you'd be like, oh, sorry, fall. I have no more room in the bag if you didn't do. So I think there's a piece of that as well. So we talk about the season we're in, right? We're entering this whole big gift season, and we all know about the gifts we give to others, certainly. But there's also gifts to self and gifts of self. So gifts to self being some of the things we talked about, whether it's a massage, whether it's that acupuncture, whether it's time for exercise that you're putting into your schedule, or time to take a class, or time to come onto this. And I thank you guys for coming on. People sign up and then they don't come on. So are you taking yourself seriously in that? And you are. So that's a great thing. That's personal time right there that you're using for you, and a gift to self. But there's also gifts of self. So when we think about, the gift season, we all think about what store we can shop in, or what we should buy on Amazon, or what could be delivered, or what gift card we need to buy, or one of those. But, a lot of the gifts that create, I think, the most bonding between people and the most alleviating to stress are the ones that we give from the heart. So they could be things we create, and I know that's right up your alley. It could be things that we project out. So maybe it's something you're purchasing, but it's something you're going to do with somebody. So whether it's admission to a museum or an art festival or a show of some kind in the future, that you've now got this date with others to do. Time with people, time to teach something. So maybe you are really a great cook, or you know how to knit or crochet or to do who knows what. And, maybe somebody from another generation, maybe it's a niece, maybe it's a child, maybe it's a grandchild, who knows. But, you may be teaching that to another generation, or to a friend who said, hey, I wish I could crochet like you. And, maybe your gift is, hey, I'm going to teach you how to crochet, and we're going to spend, 5 hours together. And that's something we're going to do. Well, think how great that is. How great that is to give that and to give a skill to somebody else that you're good at, that they don't even have a clue how to do. So actually the idea of mentoring, teaching somebody something that they do not know about, and it could be something like, tech stuff. Okay, I know how to do whatever, and I'm going to spend time with you, and then we're going to go have a glass of wine. There's so many different variations of that. Anything to add to that, Nitya? What are those gifts? Gifts of self, gifts to self? What are those
I think that's fabulous. It brought to mind my niece. My niece's boyfriend's grandmother taught my niece how to crochet. And she was like so excited because those are things, I remember growing up, like time I spent, or I remember, my grandparents lived in Radio City when I was young, or, I don't remember the stuff they bought me.
Right. But the memories
right.
are huge.
Yeah.
And you can create memories just by being present in something with somebody.
Yeah, exactly. And I know different clients of mine, they're putting together wellness parties, and they want to give them as gifts to their friends. So I do wellness.
Wow.
Yeah, so we do this, but like in person, and then we all go for lunch, because it's different sharings of what people want to learn. And that's like a great gift. Or
it is a great gift.
She got a subscription to National Geographic History, or something that's really fun and that it's long lasting. How much jewelry do we have? How much clothes do we have? How much?
Wow.
We can always use another candle.
Don't make me answer the jewelry question.
So Randy's right on target. Like even giving back, like spending time. If you have a kid who loves animals, go to the shelter and walk the dog with the kids. Show them what, why people neuter their dog. I'm an animal person too. And so different things you can think of. And, that's why like Randy coaches people, and I help educate and do the same, because it's like, oh, I didn't think of that. And that's why we brainstorm with each other too, because
you change perspective, you change thought, and you change your life. And it starts with these small little things that may seem, nebulous on their own. It's kind of like, so what? You went for a hike, or you taught somebody to crochet. Well, yeah, you change somebody's way of doing something that they can now create, something that they can teach somebody else or take forward in what they're doing. And that is a big deal. And the time you share is the time that's remembered. Like Nitya said, you may not remember those toys or those sweaters or those pieces of jewelry, but you're going to remember the time you spent and how you spent it. And that's calming and connecting. And I think in the world that we're in right now, especially, we have this need for more connection to others, and ways that we can do that in a meaningful way. And, we may not think of that as the go-to for stress release, but it really is a big key component.
One thing I just want to add is just being an educator and working with people so much. Even when you're sharing something, like Randy said, you learn something. Yeah. You think like you're helping some, but they usually give you more joy than you really expect.
Yes. Yeah, it's a give back, and it comes back. It really does, as I choke. So I wanted to talk a little bit about a connection between our hearts and our minds, because I don't think we stop to think about this very often. But every decision we make from one or two places. Sometimes we make it only from one, and sometimes it's a combination. But it's really either heartfelt or mind felt. And there's this whole idea of setting intentions, so all those affirmative words people tell you, say that you can do this, and what can you do, and not to dwell on what you can't do or what you don't have, but on all those positive things. So when we set intentions, one of the key components of that is that that's a heart space modality. It's coming from here. And when we set intentions, they're very different than setting goals. Goals are mind driven. And sometimes there's a disconnect between those two things. Our mind is telling us one thing, our heart is telling us another. One becomes this big goal, and one becomes this intention we want to set, and then we get lost between the two. So the best thing of all is to be mindful of being able to use both, because when we can set those intentions and be able to be mindful of them, we have the best of both worlds. So anybody else would like to add? All of a sudden I'm echoing. Not sure why. There we go. Anything anybody else would like to add to that in terms of anything we've talked about? Any questions so far?
I just want to say I think that's so on target, because sometimes we have goals, and are our goals realistic?
Yeah.
Sometimes we should shoot for the moon, but our intention should be to do the best we can at it and to do it with an open heart. So if it doesn't come to fruition, sometimes the universe takes us off into another path.
Right. And we don't even see that, because we're so set that it has to be this. Our mind said the goal is here, yes, but our heart's going this way. Right.
I'm laughing because I do that too. And somebody,
y'all do it.
Have people that I go to, I do what I do, you do what you do, but we have our own coaches and our own, masseuse, whoever it is, because we need to be shown. We all need help, even though we're doing this work.
We do. Coaches are coaches.
Yeah.
And mentors.
Coaches and mentors, yeah. And I think, is it what you're passionate about, or are you doing it for, what's your reasoning behind doing it? And are you taking on too much? I think as women too, since there are women tonight, and men also, but I think we take on too much and say yes too many times. Because we want to help other. Yeah. And
I think that goes along with that unloading, the things we put in that backpack we carry around with us. There's a lot of yeses, and we forget sometimes that the no word can work for us, because it actually creates another yes for something else. And without it saving a space, so to speak. So if we don't unload something, if we don't get rid of something, we can't save that space for the thing that's going to matter more. And so we're carrying around this overwhelm. We let something go, we open up the possibility.
Yeah, it's like I tell clients a lot, two things can't fit in the same space. If you're having a negative thought, make it a positive thought. You can't get that negative thought back in, so you're making the space. And again, put the oxygen mask on yourself first.
That's right. Otherwise you're not going to breathe like we did in the beginning. Well, that was good. That was good breathing. So, stress toolkit. What's in that toolkit? What do we need to have to really be able to combat the holidays, combat the world around us? Be able to reach in and say, okay, I'm going to be mindful and I'm going to use this. What's in the toolkit?
I think holistically, this is why my company is Holistic Lifestyle Programs, because my life wouldn't be like this if I just exercised and did yoga therapy. So it's everything. And one of my dear mentors, who's a raw foodist, talks about living a holistic life. And I believe now it's starting to come to fruition. So it's your nutrition, it's your mindset, it's hydration, it's your environment. Are you in a good environment? One of the yoga masters that I studied with said that a healthy environment is stronger than a good intention. Because if you're putting a good intention out and you're still hanging out, you know, at the local brothel, I don't know, you know, I just thought that would be kind of funny. But, you know, not that we're going to, but you get the idea.
How'd you know that's where we were?
I figured that would make everybody pay attention if I said brothel. So, you know, instead you would have expected something else. But you understand what I'm saying? So you put yourself in good company, and you hang out with people that have a positive attitude, and also your gratitude. Gratitude is something that I'm working with people constantly. Positivity training. You have to train yourself to be positive. I always say, I don't wake up like this in the morning. I meditate for 45 minutes every morning, and that sets my day. I take off Sundays because I watch Oprah on Sundays, so that's my day. But it's, you know, it's a checklist. You know, keep a journal, keep something that you start one thing each day. Don't start with, I'm going to change 6 things. I did that when I started my journey. My teacher was like, what are you doing? But I did it because I'm a Taurus. So it's like, you know, I did it, and it was life-changing, and it was moved things along. But I suggest you keep track of meditating 10 minutes every day and hold yourself accountable, or have your coach like Randy hold you accountable. Yeah. So that's my, you know, that's my big tool thing, you know, yoga therapy, breathing, something.
Mm-hmm. Did we mention sleep?
Oh, I love to sleep. Naps are good.
Naps are good.
Sleep 6 to 8 hours. Naps are really refreshing. This society looks down on them. Look at babies nap, pets nap in the afternoon. You know, it recharges you.
In you know, Hispanic countries, certainly still an active part of their lives. They shut down their businesses. They, you know, shut down their lives for a couple of hours every day. And even if they're not sleeping, they're relaxing. They're meditating. They're taking it easy. They're not on in that time frame. And we don't, as a culture, like you just said, really do that. You know,
we're not allowed. We're not
allowed. Not, you know,
I nap. I like to nap. Not every day, but I like to nap. 30 minutes.
Yep. So there's a couple of other things besides all the stuff we've just talked about. And that is the whole idea of pausing, which I go back to often. And so what is a pause? A pause is that ability to just kind of stop what you're doing so that you can evaluate. And, you know, maybe it's a day off, you know, maybe it's you doing something differently for a couple of days, or actually taking a little bit of a break or a vacation to reset your mindset a little bit. But, you know, we are plugged in just like our phones are all the time, running, doing, but we're not robots, we're humans. And we forget that we're humans sometimes. And that overload gets big. And if we don't take that time to pause and step away, we don't have that time to really evaluate what we really most want, and to calm down, take it down a little bit, and, you know, recreate what we want to be in our days. So the pause, I think, is really important. Anything you have to add about pausing?
Allow it.
Allow it. Let it in.
Allow it. And I think for everybody who's here tonight and everybody who will watch this, why don't you allow it? Like, ask yourself that question. You know, sit and take some breaths. Why don't I allow this? You know, and if you need help with the answers, that's why you have, you know, teachers, coaches, because it's asking that hard question. Why don't we allow it? Why don't we treat ourselves like we treat our best friend?
Mm-hmm. Right.
What would you tell your best friend? Take a break.
Yeah, we're great on giving advice to others. Ourselves, not so much. We don't see it the same way. We see ourselves having to catch up to things, or be as good as, or worthy of, or we have to get, you know, all these things done that are on our list, or whatever the reason may be. So the pause allows us to separate from that a little bit and you know, get more of a realistic approach. And the other thing that's really a lovely stress toolkit is the whole idea of creativity. Right? Creativity. Yes, all of us. So it's not just, getting out the markers and the pens, although that's certainly a part of it. And I think the whole coloring thing that really came to be for adults really kind of was birthed out of this whole idea of, reconnecting to our childhood and doing something that allows us to pause, allows us to focus on the element of what we're doing rather than the world around us necessarily, and gives us a little bit of power of play. And there's so many things like that, everything from gardening to knitting and crocheting to any hobbies that, you find fun or nostalgic in some way. It's that whole idea of cooking, Nietzsche, can you think of anything else? What did I leave off of that? Any crafts, art?
Creativity, art.
Yeah.
I think all the things are writing. Sometimes people
Writing, journaling. Yeah.
Just write down your thoughts, and you might be surprised. And taking that pause to do it actually creates a space on the left side of your brain where your creativity opens up.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, when you take those pauses, you can think clearer. You can come up with a solution to a problem that you might not have found. Go see. I used to teach a meditation class, a stress management class for Valley Hospital for years, and I used to take in leaves and have somebody just meditate on the shape of a leaf. I do chocolate meditations with people because, it's fun. You're using your senses to discover something. And just that little pause, all of a sudden, haven't you ever been in the shower and you're like, that's what I could do? Because you're,
yeah. Walk, hikes, any place where you have that, again, that pause, that peace of mind, you start to bring in some of these things. And that's the big thing. It gives you this playground to kind of test drive ideas that may not come up while you're running through your day like a crazy person. So I love the idea of that and what that brings back to you. And it's a great stress reliever, and something that we can all incorporate in one way or the other into our lives if we're not already doing that, particularly at the holidays, particularly when you're busy. It may seem counterintuitive. Okay, I'm too busy. I really can't do that. Stop. Do it. Even if it's at night and, instead of plugging into Facebook, you take out a coloring book, or you make, a handmade whatever, or you cook a meal if that's something you enjoy doing. Whatever it is that's going to slow it down a little bit and allow you to focus on the activity rather than other.
Or read poetry. I mean, I'm not, certain times you just read something so positive and it's like, wow, it's like they knew I needed to see this right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Brings you back, grounds you a little bit. So I think we're ready to move on to our meditation, which I'm very excited about.
Well, meditation, I teach lots of different, Nancy, who's on with us tonight, actually, I think you took one of my meditation courses. So she's come on hikes, and there's lots of processes to get started, and I just wanted to share one of the simpler ones because meditation is nothing more than one pointed focus on something positive and uplifting. So I find the most positive words are peace and love. I've used them for years. I used them when I used to teach at the hospital. I still teach there, but I used to teach a stress management course as a 4-week course. And meditation was one of the modules I taught. And peace and love was always something because we're water, we vibrate. When we vibrate a positive word, it vibrates our whole system. It changes our cells. And, when you vibrate a negative word, the same thing. So, changing your negative thoughts to positive thoughts we talked about before. Mm-hmm. Peace and love. I don't know too many people who would argue with it, but it might happen. So I invite you all to sit up comfortable and close your eyes. And just make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Begin to just watch your breath come in through your nostrils. You're not controlling anything. You're observing. You're an observer to your own being, your own breath. And the breath is like the Pied Piper. We're going to follow the words. The words are just going to follow and ride on the breath. So with your next inhale, just repeat in your mind, peace and love. And as you exhale, exhaling peace and love. Your mind may tend to wander as it likes to do, but gently return it. The mind likes to wander, so we have to constantly train it, bringing it back to our meditation. Feel the jaw relax. Feel the eyelids become slightly heavy. Feel the shoulders just melt away from the earlobes. Feel your heart lift. And the words peace and love just ride on your breath. They ride in on the inhale, like the ocean coming towards the shoreline. And they roll out as the waves moving back into the fullness of the ocean. As you exhale, you're sending peace and love out into the universe. As you inhale, it's being drawn into your whole being. Feel that vibration fill you up. The ebb and flow of the tides, giving and receiving. The universe is giving you, and you're giving back to it. And just bring the mind back to peace and love if it wanders. Be loving and caring as you do. And allow peace and love to be the pause, the gift that you give yourself from today onward. 2 simple words that vibrate high. And just hold them in your heart for a moment. And with your next exhale, release the meditation, but notice how you feel. And slowly bringing yourself back, opening your eyes. And that's your pause. That's your gift from Randy and myself for the holiday.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ask if anybody has a question about meditation. If you do I always do a 20-minute consultation over the phone for questions, where you at. So, and everybody looks a little blissed out right now. So.
Well, there went Randy. I told you I may fall asleep during
We'll all sleep good tonight.
That was great.
Thank you very much.
I also have 3 questions that I think are really worth asking yourself. at some point in your day, whether it's a morning question or an evening question or both. I find both times of day can be very grounding in terms of resetting oneself. Everybody has their own personal preferences. One of the questions is, have I practiced self-love today? Because we forget about that. All these things we talk about, one of the reasons we get all kinked up and nervous and stressed out and our body gives us all these signs is because we're not necessarily practicing that self-love. So did I practice self-love today? Another question is, what am I grateful for? Because as we talked about before, and that you very well said, when we're grateful, it's really hard to have fear and be grateful at the same time. And when we erase some of the fear, we automatically calm down. That's just kind of how it works. Because one of the things that gets us the most stress is all these fears, all these stories we tell ourselves about how something isn't going to be what we want it to be, or we're not going to be good enough at something, or we can't do this because of whatever. So the more grateful we are about even some of the very small things, like I'm very grateful for this meditation. I very much needed that today, and it's perfect. So thank you. So that erases a lot of other stuff immediately, and so it makes me feel really good. It's kind of an instant gratifier. So have I practiced self-love today? What am I grateful for? And the third one, what can I do? What can I do? And you know what? You may be setting yourself up for a goal. You may be going along and living a process of something, and things may or may not at times work out. You may have a particularly bad day, or several bad days, or days where things don't go the way you were hoping that they would go. Maybe they're going in another direction. What can you do with what you have? What can you do in the time that you have? So we're talking about a rushed, crazy holiday season we're kicking off now, where everybody's normally running around and doing so much. So when you stop at the end of the day, at the beginning of your day, what can I do with the time that I do have? And can I meditate? Can I breathe? Can I take that pause? Can I go to the acupuncturist? Can I roll my shoulders? Whatever little piece of this brings you that love and that peace, as Nietzsche was saying, and brings you back. So I think that those are also very actionable questions that you can, work with yourself with on a daily basis, because it's all about creating the habits you want and bringing those into your life so that they work for you. So I think I want to just bring this back to wrap up any questions that we may have, anything anybody wants to add before we move on and say where everyone can find us and all that fun stuff.
I just want to add one thing that is a comment from one of my my clients, my students. I was teaching meditation program, and this woman said, I can't explain why it works, but I've been doing it and something's different. So like Randy said, take the time. You won't be able, it's a practice, whatever it is. Practicing self-love, the three great questions she just asked, something, but the practice will show you the fruits of your practice.
Right, which is kind of the whole idea behind yoga too, is that you have and they call it a practice, which and you're a yogi.
It's always a practice. It's never a finish. It's always practice.
It's never finished, and one day maybe one thing, and another day it could be something else, and maybe one day you're up for something to be a certain way and certain poses that you can accomplish and you can totally do, and the other day well, not so much, and that's okay. That's part of your practice. So if we look at bigger portions of our life like that, it's a much more holistic, healthier way to look at life, and a much more stress-free way to look at life. So I think it's a really good point. So in wrapping up, does anybody have any questions? Ellen or Nancy, who have joined us for this, anything you'd like to add?
I don't have questions, but this was really helpful because it's making me more mindful of the pauses, the benefits of the pauses, and even this little break that we had doing this meditation was so helpful. Like it was hard to open my eyes. Like my eyelids actually felt heavy just in that little bit. So it's a great reminder, and I'm going to try to incorporate it. So thank you. Thank you both.
Oh, I love that. I think very well said. It's exactly how I feel right now. I think it's spot on for what we need right now. So where can people find us? Oh, you can always find me on my website, www.randylevincoaching.com. Right now, if you jump on my website, you have something flashing at you. And what that is a kickoff for my first ever online challenge, which is a free event. It kicks off on the 5th of December. You sign up, and every day for 5 days, in your inbox, in your home, right to you comes a little video, short, no more than 3 minutes, and a worksheet. So there'll be 5 tools about refreshing and reinventing your life, 5 ways to change and tweak that perspective just a little bit so that you can have those goals and promises you make to yourself in 2017 stick as you move forward. And that's complimentary, my gift to you. You can find the information on that all over social media shortly, but certainly on my website at www.randylevincoaching.com. And I'm also very excited because I will be part of, for those people who are local who watch this, there's a brand new business that opened in Saddle River called Body Image Boutique, which is all about healthy body, healthy image. It's yoga plus everything else under the sun that's good for you. And I will be doing a series of live workshops there, including some vision boarding, finding a forgotten woman, all about reinventing and refreshing and what's next in your life. And those will kick off, I believe, January 5th. You can find that on the bodyimageboutique.org, I believe it is, on their website. It will shortly be on my website as well to sign up. There's all different times. And also, I will be launching, I'm going very virtual next year, a webinar that's kicking off on the 18th of January. And I invite everybody into that as well. There'll be more on that coming up as well. And where can we find you, Nitya? Where can we take these classes? And can you come to my house tomorrow and do meditation with me, please?
Yeah, tomorrow I can't. Tomorrow
What time can you be here?
I currently teach yoga therapy for Valley Hospital. You can find me on artandsoul108.com. I'm moving into doing some wellness parties at homes this season, coming in January, homes, and I'm looking for some other venues to do these wellness parties because this type of venue is what some people have been asking me for. I don't have brick and mortar, so I do go to people's homes. I do presentations. I've been doing a lot of coloring and yoga therapy workshops. So I'm open to doing my complimentary consults with you or your friends. You can even give it to one of your friends for a holiday gift. Say, I have a 20-minute consultation for you for free. Give this person a call. So I'm always open for new adventures, and I have a bunch of different things coming up. I can't think off the top of my head, but where am I going to be next month? A couple of coloring workshops in some senior centers, and a couple of private clients working with different needs, whether it's positivity training or meditation. So I'm going to try to get on this virtual bandwagon too, because I think it's really important. It's something I haven't explored. So Randy's been very helpful in this.
So much you could do with this, and so much you brought to this presentation tonight. I really have to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I think it's absolutely spot on. I love what you do. I love the whole party idea. We need to talk about that. And thank you, Ellen and Nancy, for joining us. And
thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season, and get calm now.